the Riot employee who got laid off for the $500 Hari skin. I thought you meant like the person who priced it at $500, not the person who made it. Wait, what? Hang on. Riot lays off more League of Legends developers while promising to increase team size. So this is from IGN. And then there's the tweet over here, which I'll get to in a second as well. I think I'm in the way, so I'm gonna move for a sec from what they say. Hey everyone, I'm sad to say this, but I have been impacted by the recent Riot layoff. I've given my all to Riot, and I've met so many amazing people there. These were some of my best years of life, and now it's back to the job board. Check out my recent works. Isn't this literally the $500 skin? Like, I don't play League. I've actually never played League ever, right? Like, I don't want that kind of toxicity in my life. How many millions did this skin probably make them? I don't think it's unfair to say that this skin alone probably paid this guy's entire salary. Oh yeah, it was like a $500 skin bundle. Yeah, I mean, like, I think it was for Faker, right? It was for Faker, so like maybe like he got part of it and then like League gets part of it. But like, there's no way that one skin didn't pay their entire salary for the year. I think that's insane. Hold on. So let me read this first before I say much else. Riot lays off more League of Legends developers while promising to increase team size. Riot Games has announced it will be laying off an unknown number of developers from the League of Legends PC development team. Wait, somebody said in chat earlier that it was 26 developers and 5 publishers? Did that end up getting confirmed later? Because this is technically a couple days old now. In a post to X/Twitter today, Riot Games co-founder Mark Merrily shared an update on how we're evolving League, in which he announced the layoffs, explaining that this isn't about reducing headcount to save money. Instead, the layoffs are apparently occurring so the company can make sure we have the right expertise. What? While team effectiveness is more important than team size, the League team will eventually be even larger than it is today as we develop the next phase of League. For Rioters who were laid off, we're supporting them with a severance package that includes a minimum of 6 months' pay, annual bonus, job placement assistance, health coverage, and more. Mary continued his explanation in a follow-up post in which he said that the success of a development team is unrelated to its size. Yes and no. We learned recently, actually, with like the leaks from that book that got published with the Overwatch stuff. That apparently Jeff fought back against Bobby about creating a larger development team to make Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 at the same time. And we all know how that went. Now you could argue something like Pal World. Small development teams can make amazing games, but when you have a live service game that's as big as League, I kind of don't buy it. If we're solving the wrong problems, more resources won't fix it. It's about building smarter and healthier, just not bigger. But then you also put those people into crunch mode, and you can't have everyone in crunch mode all the time because you're just going to burn them out. And then because they burn out, then you need to bring in new people, and then the new people come in and they have a new vision, and the new vision people are going to do something different. Like any large, long-term live service game has seen that. And League, I think, is probably arguably one of the longest live service games that's been running, that's extremely popular, right? Like I guess you could say CS too, but like CS is different. I feel like CS is just its own thing. Like you can't feel like CS is just like you gotta put it in its own corner. I don't know. That's how I feel about it, at least. IGN has reached out to Riot Games for more clarity on why these layoffs were occurring. Oh, here it is. How many roles were impacted, and if any of those individuals were being considered for placement roles as part of a planned team expansion. A spokesperson confirmed that 27 employees were impacted across the League of Legends development team and an additional 5 roles on Riot's publishing team. The spokesperson stated that those impacted would have the ability to use the company's internal job board to apply at other roles at Riot, but declined to share anything else. Aw, man, that's so sad. They also come after 9 months after Riot already laid off 530 individuals, roughly 11% of its staff, in an effort to cut costs after allegedly taking on too many big bets as a company. I mean, real talk, if you're a giant Riot, Blizzard type of company.
You heard about Bandai Namco laying off 200 people by forcing them to quit?
No, I did not. Link me? That's really sad. I mean, like, to be honest with you, like, these games can just pump out skins now. Like, they don't really have to make a whole lot of content, and they just pump out skins, and like, they make tons of money off those skins. And so why not just do that instead of making big bets? And I think that's what they're kind of coming to the conclusion of, which is really sad, because I feel like also a lot of people really started to resent that side of gaming. players don't dislike games now or don't resent games. If anything, they want to see more of them. And just to name a few this week that really stand out have been Silent Hill and Sparking Zero. What stood out with those two games is apparently they sold super well as single player game. Well, I mean, I guess Sparking Zero isn't technically a single player game, but like a big part of it is all of its story stuff that's also included. Yeah, so there's this one from Silent Hill in which they put out this little thank you and basically said thank you for 1 million copies sold. That is a ridiculous amount of copies sold for a remake of a game. Obviously people loved it. People said it was really good. And then on top of that too, it wasn't even just that. There's also this, which is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero sold 3 million digital copies worldwide within 24 hours of release. I feel like a lot of games companies these days are trying to make the next Valorant, the next Overwatch, the next League, the next Fortnite, the next Apex. But there's not enough gaming companies that are focusing on story-based games. I feel like gamers crave story games when they don't even realize it. Like the next Elden Rings, the next Wukong, Black Myth Wukongs. Those don't make the same money as the live service games. So it's a bit of a pickle. It's not really a problem. It's a good and a bad. Is after a game like this comes out and it's super popular for like a month, maybe 2, everyone goes back to their same game that they were playing beforehand. They go back to what's comfortable, right? And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I want to see more games like this. Like these one-offs, games that you can go play for a few months. They sell really well, they get super supported, and then after a couple months, you move on and you play something else. I think that's totally fine. Also, what is this other link? Bandai Namco employees reportedly moved into expulsion rooms designed to bore them into quitting though the company maintains its innocence. What in the evil villainry is this? Japan's strict laws surrounding dismissal makes layoffs look a little different. Bandai Namco, wait, isn't Bandai Namco the ones who made Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? Employees are reportedly the latest victim of a wildfire of video game layoffs that have scorched through the industry these past couple of years. Although, owing to the unique nature of Japanese labor laws, the axe hasn't fallen quickly. Weren't they also supposedly working on, and they made Tekken 8? Weren't they supposedly working on like a Naruto game that got canceled? They laid off employees and canceled Naruto and One Piece titles. So that is true. No shit. Pay me to do nothing, I'm down. I feel like it might also be a culture difference. Like in Japan, like there's such a big culture around like doing good work and being proud of your work. Maybe that could also be part of it as well. According to a report from Bloomberg, approximately 200 out of the 1,300 employees have been sent to expulsion rooms, also known as Odashi Baya, an unsavory practice that is nonetheless still apparently a problem in the industry. Rather than butting up against the extremely strict dismissal laws, practicing companies will instead transfer their employees to rooms or floors that are designed to bore them out of their skull or culturally shame them into accepting severance deals. Nearly 100 have resigned, said the people asking not to be named discussing private information, Bloomberg claims. This coincides with several canceled projects for the company Blue Protocol. Blue Protocol was shut in August. Wait, what's Blue Protocol? Anime MMO called Blue Protocol. Oh, I didn't even know this, but it'll give you 5,000 fun bucks a month until it dies. What the hell are okay, well, that's a different rabbit hole. I'm not going down that one right now. And the article also claims that several games, including ones that feature characters from animes Naruto and One Piece, as well as project commissioned by Nintendo, have had their curtains called in a similar fashion. Honestly, the whole games industry is in a little bit of trouble, but like, I don't think it's gonna die or anything like that. It's just the bubbles kind of popped. There was a ridiculous amount of money in cash infusion that got placed into the industry over the last few years. Like there was an org, oh God, someone's gonna know it in chat. Someone tell me what it's called. There was an org that paid like David Beckham like 20 million back in 2020 to be the face of their gaming org, and apparently they just sold this week for 150,000. So like now that the crypto bubbles have all popped and there isn't all this money that's flying around and like your options are like gambling and yeah, like other shit, Guild Esports. Was it Guild Esports? It might be Guild Esports, but yeah, I think it'll be fine in the long term. But I think that every games company trying to chase the next big live service game is probably a mistake. Bandai Namco, however, maintains its influence in the face of that claim. Some employees may need to wait a certain amount of time before they're assigned to their next project, but we do move forward with assignments as new projects emerge. There is no organization like an Oroshi Baya at Bandai Namco Studios designed to pressure people to leave voluntarily. So this is from the company. They're like, yeah, we don't do that. Yeah, I mean, why would you admit that you do that? The company also denies claims from website Leak Press, which accuses the company of the practice alongside other allegations, such as a sudden increase in waiting lists due to the large number of titles being discontinued, and spreading bad rumors about employees whose departure has been confirmed to other companies. What in the world? I mean, like, okay, I will never ever forget. I used to have a pretty high opinion of Japan, maybe a few years ago. And I do love anime. I like a lot of things about Japanese culture, but I have such a different opinion these days. Ever since like seeing like TikToks of like, God, if you know what I'm talking about, it'll probably resonate. There was a lady who, she worked in Japan and she had to quit her job. She didn't like want to work there anymore. There was something that was going on, and they shamed the fuck out of her. They made her write like an apology letter and then like apologize in front of it was a school teacher. Yeah, the school teacher. A school teacher had to apologize in front of all of the staff, write a letter. Like, it was like basically a whole shaming exercise. It was crazy. And apparently it's normal, and that you can actually hire somebody to quit for you in Japan, which is insane. But yeah, such denials are to be expected though. While expulsion rooms are a problem in Japan, actually admitting you're using them is a no-go. While giving a talk in 2016, author of The Untold History of Japanese Game Developers, John Sisapaniak, refers to the incident in 2000-2001, where Sega was successfully sued by employees for the practice. They didn't put people behind a partition, they sent them to a completely different floor. Sega didn't just lose a lawsuit over this, their image was completely tarnished. Nobody wanted to buy games from a company like that. Damn, that's really sad. I personally love story games more than anything. I want to see more story games over the next few years personally. I know I mentioned it a little bit earlier while talking about all these layoffs. Obviously, the layoffs are really, really sad, and hopefully those people land on their feet. I don't totally buy the whole narrative of like, oh, we're just trying to be more experienced. We don't want a larger team. It's like, yeah, you're cutting costs. Did we just start Q4? I think we did just start Q4, so maybe not because of reports. Or maybe actually, wait, when does Q3 reports come out? Like when you report them to investors? I actually don't know that off the top of my head right now. That's the first thing I think of. So I hope that they land on their feet, but I also think that all of these games chasing the next big live service game is a bit of a mistake, and I hope to see more games start to follow. The Elden Ring, the Black Myth Wukong, the Sparking Zero, the good story games. They come out at the end of the month. Q3 should be reported by the 15th of October. So they come out at the end of October? Oh. I mean, the first thing I think of is that their Q3 report doesn't look great, and so they're like, well, we cut off a few more people to, lower our operating costs. Ah. That's the first thing I think of, just saying.